Their cultural awards attract national attention, including 2 invites to the White House to share their stories of joy and accomplishment that most organizations only dream about. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Richard Sheridan.
So imagine you could design an organization from scratch. Start all over. Clear the plate, grab a big blank piece of paper, take from any practice you want, whether it's Lean or Six Sigma or ISO or CMM or Agile, or just make one up yourselves. But it's the organization you want. And then you do it. And it produced the results you were hoping for. And you could describe it in just one word. What would it be? Not a rhetorical question. I'm looking for responses from you. One word. Describe that organization. Fun. Okay. Perfect. Dynamic. Awesome. Energetic. Vibrant. Lean. Profitable. Absolutely. How about joyful? Joy? Seriously? Joy? For a software company? It's amazing how many people hear me describe this and they think these 2 words are incompatible. Now let me tell you, if you're going to affect dramatic change in your organization, you probably all know this, you're going to strike nerves. Now, I ran a small experiment with 2 guys because they came up after and they're like, we'd like to try this. So I let them. 3 weeks in, one of them stopped me in the parking lot. They're like, he's like, Rich, are you going to still pay me to work here? I'm like, what do you mean? He says, I'm having so much fun it doesn't feel like work anymore. Okay, I'm not getting lukewarm response. Blood, mayhem, murder, I will work for you for free. Right? This is what we like to call at Menlo an M-curve distribution of enthusiasm, right? And so I tricked them. Kind of cool. I know how programmers think because that's where I spent the first 20 years of my career. I said, we're going to learn a new language called Java and we're going to use all these techniques just for a week. Just 1 week. And they're like, oh cool, Java, we want to learn new Java. I said, yeah, and you're going to pair, and you're going to work in this big open room, and we're going to do real work, because that'll make it more sort of practically beneficial, and you'll actually, and so they did. 1 week, I switched the pairs every day, just to make sure they get mixed around, and oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. The energy, the excitement, they were coming in early, they were staying late, they were so excited, and at the end of the week, I gathered them together, I said, guys, what do you think? And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much we learned. I can't believe how much we got done. I can't believe how much fun it was working with other people on the team. This was really great. Boy, thank you. And I said, great, this is the way we're going to work from now on. And they were like, no. And I'm like, let's play this back. Never had more fun, never got more done, never learned more, never felt more productive or energized, actually liked working with other people on the team that you've known for 30 years but never actually worked with them. And they were like, yeah, you're right. It took me 6 months to change the path in the carpet, but I was determined. And one of my programmers came to me afterwards, after it was rocking and rolling, and it was. And he sat down in my office and he said, Rich, you had everything. You had the stock options, you had the title, you had the office, you had the pay, you had the recognition, you had you're on the executive team. Why were you willing to take this risk? You had no idea it was going to turn out this well. And I smiled. I said, it was easy. And he goes, seriously? I said, yep. You see, in my head, I knew the risk of staying the same was far greater than the risk of changing. And once you cross that bridge in your brain, racing towards change is actually running away from fear, not towards it. Thank you very much.
Did I lie? Is he not awesome? Richard, a small token of our appreciation for coming out and sharing your thoughts with us. Again, everybody, Richard Sheridan.